We need to get some intro music.
The Jonathan and Lewis Show. What's up, everybody?
Oh, we're live?
Yeah, we're live now. Welcome,
you would set me up like that.
Let me catch this before it drains all my memory. There we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Superhero Chat. We gonna talk about some fun stuff today. We went and watched the Shazam movie this weekend, and it was amazing. So if you haven't already checked out our reaction, wait till we're done here, and then you can go watch that afterwards.
That's right, because it's too late to go to the theater right now.
That's right. I'll link it at the end. But I was saying our video.
Oh right, yeah. Because we're live.
But we're gonna talk some more about it. We got a lot more we want to say. Questions need to be answered. Should be fun. Also,
you remember all those questions we talked about?
I remember the ones that I raised.
Good. Hey, that's all I'm asking.
But we also want to talk about some Avengers predictions. See what we tell you what we think is going to happen. Maybe. I've got a list of things that I think is going to happen. So here we go. But first,
I'm really just going to react to his list because he just told me about this part, and
there you go. But first, news and notables. What you been reading, Lewis?
Dang it! I done lost my flyer. August 10th, here in Wake Forest. Wake Forest Mini Comic Con. Be there.
Oh man.
We will.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what's funny? Trying to remember what I have been reading.
Yeah.
A lot on my phone, as it goes off. Yeah, I can't think of much of anything. I reread a few of the greatest Shazam stories ever. Preparing for the movie, so like his origin, and there's a really great Mark Waid story in there where he fights Lobo. If you ever read those Legion comics I gave you, I think you would appreciate that story because it's really good.
Yeah.
Lobo's personality is similar to that from the cartoon show, the Justice League cartoon show. So if you could tolerate him there, you would appreciate this story. Because somehow Captain Marvel, Shazam ends up in outer space and comes across Lobo, and you know how Lobo is. He's always ready for a fight. And so he's like egging Captain Marvel into a fight. And
that's funny.
I won't spoil the ending. But no, it was a really good issue. And I think it really sort of highlights some cool stuff about the character. So
yeah.
I mean, but I don't have it on hand. It's a little buried after looking for something the other day. So I mean, that's pretty much what I have been blessed to read, other than stuff I've been reading on the internet.
Yeah.
So
well, I spent all afternoon reading The Tornado's Path.
All afternoon, eh?
Yeah.
How far did you get?
I finished it.
Was it good?
Oh man, it was so good.
Wasn't it? I'm telling you.
Good. I was not expecting the heartstrings of Tornado.
I know.
And then they threw in all that stuff with Roy. Man, that was good. That was good. Especially the ending. Like, in the thing, I was like, where's Ollie? Ollie needs to be here. But then when he gives his reasoning for, not being there, it's like, what?
Right.
So good. Guys, we found this for $3 at Ollie's.
And you can find it at your Ollie's for $3 too.
They're probably going to be that. So the regular price is $18, but it was $3, and it's really good. It's basically the reformation of the Justice League, and in that you have a whole bunch of stuff going on. It's pretty wild. There's a lot of threads going on, and you just kind of watch as they all kind of come together. And the big one is that Red Tornado is trying to become human. Oh, it's so good, so good, and he's experiencing like what it means to be human for the first time, and man. But meanwhile, you got all these other threads that are eventually tying together. All
Don't ruin the mystery of the villain, though. Okay,
right? Which I thought was really weird, but that was the weirdest part.
Well, we could talk about it later off camera if you want.
But yeah, no, it was excellent. It was excellent. There's a funny. My favorite scene that had me laughing out loud was LOLing. Black Lightning was saying Batman's getting sentimental, and Superman's like, no, if he was sentimental, he would have given us the giant penny. Or if he wasn't sentimental, yeah. So I died. So
for you watching, here's why this story is important. Back when it came out, 2006, 2007, somewhere around there, I had not been reading new comics for probably 5 years, and I happened across the hardcover edition of this story at Barnes & Noble in the mall, and I just was like, well, while I'm here and I'm killing 20 minutes, let me just thumb through. And I was hooked. The particular issue that really got me was the one where all the tornadoes are on the cover.
Yeah.
Because I was like, dang, that looks awesome. I love that cover. There's just something about it with all the various androids that look like Red Tornado.
Yeah.
So by the way, this is the story that led to the multiple tornadoes on the Young Justice show.
Okay.
So like the volcano tornado.
Yeah, I kind of got that vibe.
Yeah.
And actually, there's a special thing at the back. There was some cool stuff in the back. They showed a bunch of the covers. They have a pop out with the picture of
Entire Justice League
with the 10 of them.
Yep.
So that's pretty sweet that they included that in the trade.
Yes, because that was in the regular issues.
Right.
But
it actually folds out.
Yeah.
So pretty cool. But there's a big splash page with all the characters. That's a different page. And that's pretty much the poster or the picture that I have downstairs on my wall.
The one you haven't shown me.
I showed you on Skype one time.
Oh right, yeah, but that was a alternate cover. I think Alex Ross. No, it was Ed Benes.
So not all of the characters are in the same position, but some of them are. And I was wondering why Red Arrow was in there. Roy.
Now you know.
Now I know. Because that was a weird Justice League. Now they add on that picture, guys. If you don't know, I have a big picture on my wall downstairs, and I haven't shown you, so you wouldn't know. Actually, my girlfriend got it for me. And
I thought you showed a picture of it at one point.
I don't think I showed it on the channel, but it's basically what I just showed you. I'll show you again. It's basically this big splash page. It doesn't have the same background, and it adds Martian Manhunter, and it adds Zatanna, it adds Jon Stewart. Maybe Cyborg. I don't think Cyborg.
I don't think Cyborg.
There's a couple others that it adds. I don't remember. But anyways, I saw that splash page. I was like, oh, that's cool. That's where half of those characters come from.
There you go, folks.
That's not the one.
Yes, it is.
That's not the one that's in my living room. I'll show it to you later.
That is the picture you sent me right there.
Oh, okay. I see what I saw. The big red thing. That's my quilt. Never mind. Anyways, this is the quality content y'all are looking for. Oh, yeah, that's my quilt my grandmother made for me. I was like, that looks like the Flash down there.
I'm not gonna lie, when I saw it on the camera, it looked like that to me as well.
anyways, so that's what I read today. Man, I loved it. It was so good. I've got a list of some other books that I want to be reading soon. So,
like that Justice League run I gave you with Booster.
There's that. I got some of that Convergent stuff that I want to finish.
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah.
Oh dude, if you come across Shazam from Convergence, I heard that was excellent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to keep an eye out for it.
Yeah.
So, anyways, you got any other news or notables?
I did until you said something.
Avengers comes out this weekend. Let's go.
Oh yeah, that's true. You guys know that movie's coming out soon?
I know you probably never heard that.
Avengers, and it's not that British show. It's about some superheroes. Captain America, Thor, and my favorite Iron Man. And then that Hulk guy who gets all angry and turns green.
If we see him this time.
He better be in this movie.
All right, so that's as good as transition as any. Yeah. Predictions for Avengers. Endgame. All right, my first prediction: Captain America is gonna die.
Yeah, I feel like he has to die.
That's my first prediction.
I really don't want him to die because he's such a, I don't know, integral part of the team. But yeah, I feel like he's gonna die, and Captain Marvel's gonna take his place, whether we like it or not.
Yeah, I want him to die and come back and stay around for a long time. But if they killed him and then brought Bucky into the role as Captain America, I'd be more than happy with that.
Well, have you seen this Disney app that they're coming out with?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bucky and Falcon are getting their own show.
What? So it's Black Widow.
I thought she was getting a movie.
She might be getting a movie. They've gone back and forth with that.
Yeah.
Who knows? She deserves a movie. They should do a Hawkeye Black Widow movie. I'm telling you.
Oh, they're going to make a Hawkeye show.
Because that would be awesome.
And then they're also making a Vision and
Scarlet Witch
show.
That would be cool too.
I think it's called WandaVision. I mean, that's what it said when I read about it.
Maybe they can get some what's his name? Quicksilver in there.
That would be great.
That would be cool.
That would be great.
And we gotta get Fantastic Four coming out before too long too.
I'm gonna say it. I hope Quicksilver comes back in this movie.
That would be neat, man. That would be awesome.
Yeah,
because he was like, I saw what I knew. I appreciate what they did with him. I mean, he was a good death. But I was like, man, like this is a character that we. I feel like it would have meant more if it had been like Hawkeye.
Right.
And like I don't want either one of them to die, but Anyways, all right.
I knew he was gonna die because I read the spoilers on that one before we went and saw it together.
Lame.
But
you're not allowed to read spoilers for this next one.
No, I'm not. I'm really trying hard not to. I'm trying really hard not to. But I knew he was gonna die, and I didn't care.
Yeah.
Until it got to that point in the movie, and I'm like, dude, no,
Yeah.
I like this guy now.
Yeah.
Because,
Well,
started off kind of lame, but by the end of it, I'm like, I don't want you to die.
so I think that everybody who disappeared will come back. That's obvious. So all the vanished people will come back, and we know this is true because we're getting a Spider-Man 2, we're getting a Black Panther 2, we're getting a Doctor Strange 2. So obvious that they're all coming back, of course.
Right.
There was never any question about that because that's how the story goes in the book comics, anyways. The question is, all the people who survived, they can die and stay dead.
Right.
So I'm not sure how they'll work that out. I think though, if Captain America doesn't die, he'll retire his shield and pass it on to Bucky. I think that Iron Man is going to retire and settle down with Pepper, and I think she's pregnant.
I think she's pregnant too.
So,
and she's done after this movie as well.
Right. So, we might see him show up as a cameo later on. Although I would love a Iron Man 4 where we got an actual Mandarin story.
Yes, as long as War Machine is in it too.
But I have a feeling that we're going to have to wait till the reboot for that.
Yeah, I worry about that.
If we don't get it now, we're going to get a reboot later, and it's going to have the Mandarin. And hopefully it'll be good, So, one of those two is going to happen, But I think that's going to happen. I think for now, they're going to retire Iron Man and have him settle down with Pepper, and this be kind of his last trip. Now he might stay as an active character on the sidelines, but I don't think he'll suit up and be active. I think War Machine would still be active.
I hope so.
Because I like the side characters are great.
Dude, I'd love it if he becomes Iron Man.
That would be cool too.
Like if Tony's just like, dude, I'm leaving it with you.
Yeah.
I mean, so I predict that he's going to get his legs healed.
Yeah, I think they are healed.
No, he had braces on at the beginning of when Cap and all them show up, and Thunderbolt Ross was telling him you're court-martial him or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had those leg braces on.
Now, a crackpot theory is that Thor is going to die. Excuse me, but
he just went on record as saying he'd like to do another Thor movie.
Well, what I was going to say
did Ragnarok.
That's why I called it a crackpot theory. I think Disney and Marvel would be stupid not to make another Thor movie.
Yeah,
because Ragnarok was amazing.
Yeah, Ragnarok.
Amazing. I mean, it was the best out of all three of them.
Yeah,
easily the best out of the three of them.
It's probably the second best Avengers movie they've made. I'm sorry, third, because the first Avengers movie is the second best Avengers movie. Behind Infinity.
What's the guy that plays the
Korg?
No. Although I want to see Korg, that'd be great.
No, he's got to show up.
I'm hoping he wasn't killed in the first Avengers. I mean, the third Avengers movie.
I don't think they released something that showed all the people that had died.
Yeah.
As a result of the snap, and he wasn't amongst them. So
I was thinking more that when Thanos attacked the Asgard ship.
Yeah, I think he got away with Valkyrie.
Yeah.
Yeah, my understanding.
Mystery. So. Is she in this movie?
She's supposed to be.
Okay.
I think her face was on something they were doing.
Yeah. But where was I going with this?
I don't know. Straight to the bank.
But I think they'd be crazy not to do another Thor movie because Ragnarok was amazing. It was so good.
And that would be the Thor 4 would be the appropriate place to hand it off to Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah,
and exactly. Have Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's right.
For the third movie.
and have Beta
So
Ray
Marvel,
be the new Thor.
Yep.
Would be awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
And I mean, that'd be progress, right? Going from a human pirate angel, right? To a horseman.
Oh man, I need to watch the Infinity War movie again before I go watch it this weekend.
Just for the jokes, right?
Just for the movie. I mean, that's so good. It's so good. Let's see.
Looked like RJ and Brittany were doing the same thing.
Who?
RJ and Brittany.
Okay.
I saw on their Facebook page where they were watching it, and it said something like prepping for Endgame.
That's funny. For those of you who don't know, those are friends of ours who live in Texas.
Yeah. So here's my prediction as it regards time travel. I think they're going to establish that once you go back in time, you change the future, and that there's like one timeline. So I think they're going to go back to before Thanos got all the stones together and undo even probably Loki's death.
Huh.
Because, I mean, if you're going to do Thor 4, you need Loki.
I think it'd be better for them to leave him dead.
But they got he's got a series on that Disney app.
But you can have him die and come back. I mean, he's clever.
He's very clever.
But
that's my prediction.
I mean, this isn't the first time he's died, anyways.
This is true. This would be the third or fourth time.
I think they should stay away from time travel.
But I worry that's what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, I think that they will somehow get the gauntlet and then click it back and everybody comes back.
Yeah, one theory I heard was that they're going to make their own gauntlet.
Well, if the one that they have is actually destroyed, then they'll have to. If it's not, or they can go get the other one that was on Asgard, if it's another one and not a fake. Well, they have the mold, so.
Right. Well, that was the thing. So the theory I heard was they're going to make their own and then use time travel to obtain the stones before Thanos.
Well, they'd have to get the time travel stone to do that.
Or the quantum zone, right? Or whatever it is, Ant-Man's...
I hope that's not the way they go.
Portals.
I want a big battle with Thanos for the gem.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that's going to happen.
Although it could be that when it was destroyed and he disappeared, that the gems spread out across the galaxy again. Who knows?
That's true too. That could be.
But the question is, who is powerful enough to hold the gauntlet?
Thor?
Well, that's the only one that comes to mind, because I don't think Quill can anymore since his father's dead.
But hold on, what about Captain Marvel? And I'm not trying to be controversial or anything. I just don't her powers somehow derive from the Tesseract?
They might, but so does Vision.
That's true. He would be a good.
Of course, he's dead, so.
But was he snapped out, or was it just?
It was because they grabbed the soul gem out of his forehead.
Right, so theoretically, Iron Man could fix him, right?
Theoretically.
All right. I mean, Banner's there.
Right.
He could help fix him.
So we'll see. I don't know.
But he did have a big shining moment in Avengers 2.
I don't think Captain Marvel's strong enough to wield the gauntlet.
I just mean if her powers are somehow derived from the Tesseract already. So, like, folks, I'm about to dive into Captain Marvel, and spoilers alert or whatever. From what I understand, the Tesseract was powering the engine that exploded and gave her powers. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay. So if her powers come from one of the gems, theoretically, she should be able to. I don't know. Theoretically, she should be able to. I mean, because she's already mega powerful, right? So
right.
It's not unheard of. And there is that. There's one of her more famous comic book covers where she's like sliding a glove on, so they might be going for that visual.
Yeah, I really hope they don't do that because I feel like her character is not really developed enough.
Right.
I mean, she's definitely not powerful enough.
She hasn't earned it.
Right.
For that moment.
I mean, she
doesn't have the history with the original story or anything.
I mean, she's got a lot of power, but she's not. She's still just a human.
Right.
I feel like I could grant her maybe the same level that Star-Lord had in the first Guardians, where she could probably hold one of the Infinity Gems.
Yeah, but isn't he part Celestial or something?
Right.
So,
but she got her powers from the Tesseract, so
right.
Probably close enough. But holding the gauntlet, I don't think either of them really
God
could.
level. So
what?
Celestials are like God level in the Marvel universe.
But he doesn't have that anymore, so
he doesn't have that background.
Not anymore. Supposedly, from Guardians 2, my understanding was that once his father died, his link to the Celestial is gone.
Huh.
Is what I understood from that movie. I could be wrong, but that's how I heard it in that movie. So I think Thor is the natural choice, or Adam Warlock.
There's no way they're bringing him out of it.
I know. We would know if there was going to be an Adam, unless they just did so amazing to hide him.
I just feel like there'd be so much to get through. I mean, unless that's going to be the third Guardians movie where they sort of run back in time and tell his origin.
I don't know.
Now a cool like end scene, like after credits, would be him going and picking up the mind gem or soul gem, whatever one it is that he's like attached to, and be like,
I think he's soul.
Think I'll keep this or something like that.
I'll tell you what a great end scene would be. I think you're gonna like this. Here's my theory for the end thing, and this is how they should do it. Fantastic Four. We need some kind of Easter egg for a Fantastic Four.
Okay, the only way that works is if they come out of the quantum realm.
No.
And that's where they've been and why we haven't seen them yet. They've been exploring all these different places, and then they call it the negative zone. And I'd be down with that. I had that thought like 2 months ago.
I mean, that's possible.
I
guess the question is, would they bother doing another origin story for the Fantastic Four? Since we've already had 2 movies recently.
They could do a quick recap in the first 10 minutes or so,
well,
right?
That's different from an origin story.
Yeah, I don't want another origin story.
Yeah.
I wish I had a Marvel comic readily available. I used to love hold that. I'm gonna find one.
But they have the Fantastic Four, the rights to them now. They need to do a Fantastic Four movie ASAP.
Yes.
Because Phase 4 needs to have Fantastic Four in it. I mean, it just makes sense. Phase 4, Fantastic Four. Come on.
Okay, so this is a newer one. This doesn't truly fit what I'm saying, but this is the beginning of the newest Fantastic Four issue. It gives a little recap of what's been going on.
Mm-hmm.
But at the beginning, this first paragraph, it says, a brilliant scientist, his best friend, the woman he loves, and her fiery-tempered kid brother. Together they braved the unknown terrors of outer space and were changed by cosmic rays into something more than merely human. And now that the Fantastic Four are reunited, the world will never be the same again. See, it gives you every bit of, the information you need to understand who these characters are at a glance. So I kind of want them to just do something like that, but show us, obviously not just have a narrator
Right.
read that. I mean, give us the big picture details. You can show them transforming in the first 10 minutes, and you don't just have dramatic music playing as they crash land in their shuttle and they get out and thing turns into the thing and the woman goes, I can't hide well enough to pull off visibility. Reed does his stretchy thing and Torch, lights on fire.
Yeah.
I don't know why I did jazz hands when I did that, but whatever.
Well, they could do that as the post-credit scene. They could show, like,
their ship landing.
The Fantastic Four getting their powers like that.
Okay, I'd be down with that.
Or something. I think if they were gonna do something, they would just put like the Fantastic Four symbol or something, kind of like what they did with Captain Marvel. They just showed her symbol.
Oh, the pager thing.
Yeah, I imagine that's probably all it'll be. But they should do that, most definitely.
Well, hey, you know what? Since it is Phase 4, they could just show the Fantastic Four symbol and then have at the bottom of it coming soon.
Right.
And that way it can relate to Phase 4 as well as the Fantastic Four.
Well, they could say something Phase 4 and have the Fantastic Four symbol for the 4.
Well, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Right, so they wouldn't even need to mention the Fantastic Four. You just got their symbol there.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, if they do that, man, I would be so excited. The whole movie, even if it bombs, I'll be excited.
Yeah.
But let's see, other predictions. I
think Hulk survives. If Pepper is pregnant, I think she delivers, and maybe that's the last scene. And Tony names him Steve.
I have a feeling she disappeared.
Pepper?
Yeah.
Well, you said she'd be back, so I'm saying if you're talking about Iron Man retiring, and so what I'm saying is if she is pregnant, they'll flash forward to when the baby's born.
Right.
And he'll name him Steve.
Steve.
Yep. What's his dad's name again? Iron Man's dad?
I don't remember.
Howard.
That's right.
I can see him naming him Stephen Howard Stark.
That's not too bad.
I like the name Stephen.
Yeah.
Strange, see? There's two right there. Cap and Doc Strange, and they become BFFs, and he lets him lead the Avengers. I'm down with that.
Yeah. I really hope they don't go too much into the Infinity War story.
I don't think they can, though.
Well, they ended the Infinity War movie with the ending of the Gauntlet. So if they're gonna keep going, the Infinity Watch and the Infinity War is the next storyline. So I'm hoping. I mean, they don't have the right characters set up, but that's never stopped them before. So, I
can't see it.
Well, that's why I'm saying I really hope they don't do that, because if you haven't read the Infinity War and storyline, guys, basically what happens is Adam Warlock's evil half that he split away from himself. I forget what it's called.
A Magus.
Yeah, that's right. He ends up somehow sending these doppelgangers after everybody.
But they're evil.
Right. Evil doppelgangers attack everybody. And so you have everybody fighting their evil doppelgangers, including Thanos.
That sounds like a movie that just came out.
And some of them win and some of them don't. But then some of them don't know that the others aren't the real people, that they're doppelgangers. So there's a big whole thing. And then Thanos
absorb their doppelgangers.
Huh?
Some of them, like Sue Storm, absorb their doppelgangers.
Huh.
Yep.
and then Thanos teams up with them to
The
stop.
good guy.
Right, and I really hope that they don't go that far. I want Thanos to be the bad guy. We need a good resolution of Thanos being the bad guy that's defeated in the end.
Well, and I've heard rumors that his dad is going to be the bad guy.
Thanos' dad. Oh joy!
And so they were going to have to team up with Thanos to beat his dad.
Yeah, please no. I want Thanos to be the villain. Because if there's somebody bigger than Thanos, then Thanos is a weak villain. And that's why Darkseid is the big bad of DC. There's
Right.
no one better than Darkseid. I mean, there is, but you never see him.
There's nobody better.
Right.
There might be bigger powerhouses, but there's nobody better.
Right. Because you've got to have like the extreme. It's like Superman is the powerhouse on DC. You have people who can beat him, but he's the man. He's the top level.
Yeah, he's the benchmark.
If you start creating new characters that are just easily better than them, then it ruins the whole point of the character.
Right.
So if Thanos' dad shows up and he's more powerful than Thanos is like, really? Like, this is a terrible character.
On, man. This was my son. Spotlight. What are you doing here?
Oh, man. It just undermined the entire first movie.
How many times am I going to teach you this lesson, old man?
So that's a terrible way for Marvel to go. I will not be happy. And, I mean, they could pull it off. I don't know. I'll go in with open heart. But
prove us wrong, Marvel. Prove us wrong.
We need Thanos to be the villain. I guess maybe an exception is if somehow the Avengers trick Thanos into fighting somebody else or something like that. I could see something like that, and it's really just a distraction to help them achieve whatever goal they need. But I don't like time travel to be overused, so I'm not happy with that. And I want Thanos to be the villain because otherwise it cheapens his whole plot.
Right.
Those are my two. Please don't do this, Marvel. Please don't do that.
I think something that I'd be interested in is if there's some sort of effect that spreads as a result of his snap, right? Like, so he wanted, half the population gone because his concern was, there wasn't enough supplies, right? So he snaps, and then somehow the supplies are still not enough. So he feels like he needs to go one step further or something.
Yeah.
And
maybe.
And that
mad,
sort of
so.
Do what?
I said he is mad, so.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So like that's his next step, which. Sorry.
You're fine.
It's late here. So that's the next step that precipitates the big final confrontation with the Avengers, where they actually, avenge stuff.
Yeah. Now one exception that I would be okay with for time travel is if Doctor Strange did something to the time stone.
He did.
That makes it timey-wimey stuff happen. So if he put some kind of magic on it that if it was used in this certain way that it would reset or something like that. I'd be interested if something like that happened.
I'd be down with that.
If anybody could do it, it would be Doctor Strange. So
I definitely need him to feature prominently in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, he was dusted, right? So
yeah.
But I really want him to get his shine because I think he's going to be a key part of Part 4.
Well, I have a feeling that the first half of the movie is going to be getting the gems and bringing everybody back, and then the second half, part 2 of the film, will be defeating Thanos.
Okay.
So I think that's gonna be how it goes. I could be wrong, but I think that would be very satisfying because then you see all the Avengers back together. They've saved all their friends, and now they're gonna avenge. So I think it'd follow a similar plot line to the first Avenger movie too. Because you have like the downfall where everybody's scattered, and then you finally bring everybody back together. They team up for one final thing.
I swear they have to say that in this movie. Marvel, just once I need to hear them say Avengers Assemble. I mean, for crying out loud, that could have been in the promo material and we'd all lost our minds.
All right.
So it needs to happen. I can film that scene, even if it has to be at the end of the movie. At this point, I don't care. I just want to hear them say, Avengers Assemble! That's like not having Optimus Prime say, Transformers, transform, and roll out. Like, these are catchphrases for a reason, people.
Yeah.
It'd be like having the Titans and not have them shout, Titans together.
Holy moly.
Dude. You have no idea how first when he said it, I was all excited and I'm smacking Jonathan in the theater. And I'm like, yes, he said it. But then he said it, I'm like, did he say it for real? But later on he said it for real. And I'm like, oh.
He said it a few times, like right in a row.
He did. And it did my heart good. My heart good.
I enjoyed that.
So.
That was fun.
We're talking about Shazam, but I don't know if we're segueing yet or not.
Well, you got any other predictions for the movie?
It's going to make a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. It's going to blow everything out of the water. As long as it's good.
Well, right. No, I think it's going to make a bunch of money opening.
It's going to make a bunch of money anyways.
Yeah.
But if it's good, it'll blow everything out of the water.
Right.
Just like Endgame did. I mean,
Infinity
War did.
This movie's going to top Titanic and Avatar and whatever else is sitting up top for the highest grossing movie of all time.
Yeah. I still can't believe Avatar is up there.
Get overtaken anyway. What'd you say?
I can't believe Avatar is up there.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's such a lame movie.
It's not good.
It's all right. They're making some sequels too. Like,
is that seriously? Right?
I mean, the story is basically Pocahontas on steroids.
No, with blue body paint.
Right, on steroids. They're on another planet. It's a sci-fi version. They still got all the spiritualism. It's exactly Pocahontas, but on steroids.
Colors of the wind.
Yeah, it was okay. It was okay. Not where I didn't miss anything by not seeing it in theaters.
Yeah.
But anywho, I don't know that I've got any other predictions. So
just be good, Marvel. Make us a good movie.
Yeah.
And honor Thanos and the Russo brothers, and keep your spoilers to yourself.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to tag it.
I hope that this will be a good chance for Captain Marvel to earn her stripes.
Yeah.
They could do her really well. I think she's going to
get beat up. I think she's going to get smacked around.
That'll be good. I'm excited to see her get beat up by Thanos.
That'll tell us whether she can take it or not, right?
Yeah. Well, if she just beats him too easily, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Well, I think that'll cause problems for the character. Like, some of the audience is going to be like, no, that was too easy. No. We're done with her.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll set up Spider-Man 2?
They might. I'd say that there's probably going to be something that happens with him near the end that plays into Far From Home, but I doubt it'll have a huge impact.
Yeah, Fury's not in this movie, I've heard.
Really?
Yep.
Surely he's coming back. Surely he shows up at the end.
He said he wasn't in this movie.
Huh. Well.
Maybe he meant he didn't play a integral part. I don't know.
I mean, he was barely in the last movie.
It's true. He showed up at the end to collect his paycheck. Dude, okay. So real quick, there's a hilarious video on Facebook. I forget who put it out. I think it's College Humor or something. The same folks who did the Batman thing you made me watch with with Patton Oswalt on it. But it's like Samuel Jackson, it's your effing fault or something like that. And what it is people blame him for having been in movies that had a negative impact on their kids.
I think I've seen that.
It was hilarious. So,
all right.
The guy working at the liquor store or the convenience store, I couldn't tell which. He was like, "Man, I like crack," and he's like, "How is that my fault?" He was like, "You were in the one dude busts in, and the lady busts in, and she's like, my son watched Shawshank Redemption. Now he's in prison." He's like, "That was Morgan Freeman." It's so great.
That's funny. Dude, man, with Captain Marvel though, I would love a Nick Fury, Agent Coulson detective show.
Yeah,
that'd be amazing.
Or even just a series of movies.
Yeah, be amazing. Anyways, that's pretty much all I got for Avengers guesses. Wouldn't mind if Galactus showed up.
Dude, that'd be an awesome end credit scene.
Yeah.
I hunger.
But yeah. Well, he could just have a cameo in there if they meet the Eternals.
Ooh, I hadn't thought of that.
So, I mean, and then you were like, "Oh, Fantastic Four's coming up because there's Galactus."
Wow, that'd be really progressive on the Fantastic Four parts, and I have Doom in the first story.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just because you show Galactus doesn't mean he has to be the first villain.
Says you.
But then again, he could be the first villain, and they have Dr. Doom in there.
No. No. We all know who Dr. Doom is. Yeah. Save him for a big Fantastic Four movie.
You don't want Dr. Doom in every Fantastic Four movie?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, no, I wouldn't mind him being a part of something.
I'm sorry. Well, I mean, cameos or him working behind the scenes and we see a glimpse of that, I'm good with. But, I mean, you saw how it worked out the last time. I know that was mainly on the dude playing him, but still.
Well, we could have like
I want nice things, Jonathan. I want nice Dr. Dooms.
We could have like a Loki kind of character who he's in every movie, but sometimes he's for them, sometimes he's them.
I don't want Dr. Doom flipping and flopping like Loki. I want Dr. Doom to be Dr. Doom.
Well, he would be Dr. Doom. He just sometimes their purposes align. So he helps them every now and then. I don't know. Anyways, it'd be interesting if he showed up in this movie.
Yeah.
He could, because we're going to have to ask where he's been if all this is happening. So,
this is true.
Then again, you could just say that he disappeared in the...
He got snapped. Yeah. Oh, snap.
Hey, that'd be a cool cameo if in one of the early shots, if they show like news reporters talk about like the
famous heads of state that disappeared.
Right.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool. Is it Latvia?
Latveria.
Yeah, if they had like that name drop that'd be so cool. But anyways, all right, well, let's move on to Shazam. We had some questions about the movie that it really raises, and I think we can just jump maybe to the big one. Who is going to be the 7th person. Who's going to sit on the throne with them?
You got the 6 with Shazam and his family.
Right. So there's got to be another. There's got to be a 7th somewhere. Any thoughts?
Well, I thought about it today, and maybe Black Adam is the 7th.
I don't know about that.
Well, just because in the comics they sometimes present him as an anti-hero, as opposed to a straight-up villain. If a sufficient enough threat comes along, I could see him working with them.
I could see that with any villain.
The only other option would be Talkie Tawny, the tiger.
I'd be fine with that.
So there's like this anthropomorphic tiger who's well dressed. Either that or Hoppy the Marble Bunny. Either of which could come from the alligator world.
Yeah.
If there are other, anthropomorphic characters on that world, or, could just be the alligators there.
I was reading.
There was a anthropomorphic alligator that tied into Black Adam's story from New 50, or not New 52, but the 52 storyline. He ate Black Adam's wife's younger brother.
Yeah.
So
I was reading this, which is Shazam number 3. It's got the cover of Mr. Mind.
Oh, I like that.
But King Kid is begging them to be the 7th seat holder.
King Kid?
He's in one of the universes, or one of the realms. In Funland is what they call it in this.
Nice.
I don't think he should. I haven't finished this issue, but I was reading it earlier. But I don't know. I really don't know some of the side characters for Shazam as well. But man, that movie was great. I'm really, really curious who's going to be the 7th though, because they got to have it. I don't think it should be Black Adam though, but I mean, you could say that as long as he's around, he's the only one that really fits the 7th.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't know how they'll deal with that, if at all.
Short of them resurrecting the wizard Shazam, I don't know who else would sit there.
Yeah. Although I wouldn't mind that. He's a cool character.
I like the actor, so I'd be down with that.
He was in Captain Marvel as well. He was one of the team members.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the Star Force guy.
So
sorry.
He was in 2 Captain Marvel movies in the same year.
The original that can't be called Captain Marvel, and then the Marvel Captain Marvel.
Right. The real Captain Marvel and the Marvel Captain Marvel.
That is confusing at all.
Oh, man, but Shazam was amazing. If you haven't watched our main reaction video, we had a lot of fun. It was so good. It's probably my favorite DC movie right now, or DCEU movie. It's not that it doesn't have a couple problems with it, but I enjoyed it still.
So let's talk about Savannah if we could. So I just got to thinking today, why didn't Shazam blast him when he showed up in the Rock of Eternity the second time, and he recognized who he was? You know what I mean? Like before he got to the eye.
Shazam the Wizard?
Yeah. Because he had the staff, and he clearly still had access to some magic.
Yeah.
Do you reckon he was just reserving his power so that he could? Well, no, because then the guy frees the sins. So
I wonder if he was using his power to fight back the 7 sins.
Right, but they get free there.
Right, because he's overwhelmed.
Right.
And too weak. So I wonder if he was fighting an invisible battle that we couldn't see with the sins, and that's why he couldn't blast Savannah um, with electricity because he was too weak. Couldn't
Yeah,
battle on both fronts.
maybe so.
Maybe, I don't know, but
Yeah. So I thought it was interesting. So Shazam, the wizard, at some point chose a champion who was not quote unquote pure of heart.
yeah.
Um, and we know that's Black Adam, but find out more about that in his own movie. So
That's right.
not truly a spoiler. Um, but then he kind of settles for Billy because he's like, I don't really have a whole lot of options here, kid. So grab my staff, say my name. We'll
That
get
was
this thing
fun.
under wraps. Um,
That was fun part. Although I felt like all that his speech saying that he wasn't worthy, that kind of showed that he was pure at heart. Um,
it shows humility, certainly, but
right.
I think the biggest thing that he said that stuck with me was there ain't nobody pure of heart.
Yeah.
Um, and it's interesting that this powerful character, or I guess I should say otherwise powerful character, the wizard, he had spent all that time between, you know, at least the start of the movie with Savannah. But I think his looking for the champion happened after um, his bad choice went wrong before.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was neat. Just an interesting take and commentary on humanity in general.
Yeah. Now I wonder, where does Black Adam get his power? Is it from Shazam the Wizard too?
Yes.
So now that Shazam is dead, where does he draw his power from? Billy?
No, no, no. In the comics, uh, he would call on the same power that Billy would call on.
But in those comics, Shazam was still alive.
No, in the original comics, the immediately after Captain Marvel gets his powers, a rock drops on top of the wizard, and he becomes a ghost.
So where is Billy drawing his power at that point? From Shazam?
From the Rock of Eternity.
Okay. So
I mean, Shazam gave him his powers.
Okay.
But
the powers come from the rock.
Well, I mean, because it's magic, right? It's magic
Right.
light. And so, like he said in the movie, it's where magic comes from.
Okay. So Black Adam's drawing his power from the rock as well.
If he has access to it, yes.
Okay. That's what I was curious of.
In the New 52, apparently, he stays in his Black Adam form.
So my understanding was that Billy got it directly from Shazam, not the Rock, like in the original.
Well, right. So he does get it directly from Shazam.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So, but now that Shazam is dead, how does Billy access the magic lightning?
From the Rock.
Well, he still says the wizard's name, right?
Well, it's his name now. He's the wizard Shazam. Which,
well,
at least, hey, he asked them in the movie, say my name, and they said Billy, and he's like, no, say the name that I said. So he's calling himself Shazam, which solves the problem of his name to an extent, because he still has to say his own name to become Captain Marvel, but it does explain that his name is Shazam now. because he's become the new wizard. It's as if the mantle of Shazam is passed on. It's kind of how I understood it from the movie. Is the way that they seem to be going with it.
That's stupid.
Now I still
Your
think
reasoning is strong, but that
think he should be called Captain Marvel, but
or Captain Thunder. Come on,
they
anything.
could have at least called him Captain Thunder. Yeah, that was probably the weakest part of the movie for me, other than those two plot holes, was we didn't know what his name was because he couldn't say his name.
Right.
And I mean, it was funny at first, but after they've said it over and over again that nobody knows what to call the guy.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I that was something I was worried about. I'm like, how's he going to tell anybody who he is if he can't say his own name? And so, apparently, like one convention that was used in the comics is, he has to be trying to change,
Right.
or something like that. And I'm like, get out of
No,
here.
no, that's not how the character works.
Right. Stupid. But what did you think about Savannah? Did you think he was a sufficient villain? I read an article and they kind of called him out, and like there was no real end game for him as a villain. He had no plan, or you know, um, no grant, like nothing about uh, what he was seeking to do became clearer in the last part of the movie. It just was more of the same.
Hey, somebody's on. Welcome. Yeah, I'm not sure. I thought it was a great villain. I mean, as far as I could tell, his motive was to gain the power of the wizard to be the champion.
Right.
And I think it stemmed from him trying to prove himself worthy because everybody else thought he was unworthy.
Right.
And so, does he have to have world domination? And really, the real bad guy in Shazam is the Seven Sins.
Right.
He just becomes their
Puppet.
Their puppet. Um, he's saying Thanos or Darkseid. I like Darkseid.
Dark side.
Yeah, we're big
The
DC
dark side
guys.
doesn't need a glove.
Now I like Thanos. Don't get us wrong. We like Marvel a lot, but we're biased toward DC.
But it's well established that Thanos is a dark side clone,
Yeah,
sort of speak.
a copy.
And so, do what?
A rip off or a copy. Hey, someone
Yeah.
else is on. Welcome. But I thought Savannah had enough motive to to be a great villain, and I mean he was creepy too. He played it really well. I heard somebody else said that he didn't. I was watching a review. They said they didn't like him. It was a bad villain. I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, I feel like
he was sufficiently menacing.
Yeah.
Particularly in the boardroom scene, which I won't
do
any spoilers. And then, but at the end where Billy calls him out on the rooftop, I'm like, dude, I haven't picked up on that the whole movie. That's the wisdom of Solomon at play, and I was like, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I feel like if we had Black Adam, he would be, he'd be more of the main villain because I don't think he really cares about the seven deadly sins. Whereas I feel like Savannah used the seven deadly sins or was tempted by them and was used by them because of his own pride and seek for glory and ultimately envy. JRT Cole says, "Are you guys hyped for Endgame?" Oh yeah, man. Oh
we just spent an hour before now talking about that.
Right. When we're done, you can go back and watch all of our predictions. We are so excited. It's going down this weekend, and I'm excited, man. It's so close. finally get a conclusion to all that Marvel's been building up to. Now I do feel like where are we going to go from here? Because they've got to pretty much start from the beginning, unless they leave us with a small cliffhanger in this movie. Like where are we going to go? That they were lucky in that they had been developing this Thanos storyline for a while, so it's possible that they could make the Eternals the next villains, specifically Galactus, and we could see some heralds of Galactus or stuff show up, and I don't know, something like that. Maybe Galactus is on his way to Earth, and in 5 or 10 years in Avengers 5 and 6 we'll have Galactus. I don't know, but excuse me. Oh, but yeah. So I thought Savannah was really good. I thought he was a great villain. Sufficiently scary. He had good motivation. Well, he had his own motivations enough to make it believable. I don't accept what they're saying there, because again, I think he was used by a bigger villain than himself.
Yeah.
Without him really knowing it, and
Well, comics though, Black Adam was in that Savannah spot with the Seven Deadly Sins.
yeah.
Yeah, and then they switched him out because The Rock is playing Black Adam in the movie. So they wanted to sort of diverge and create their own little story, so to speak.
Yeah. Hey guys, let us know what you're most excited about for Endgame, or what's your predictions. We'd love to hear what you're predicting. But we'll see. We've already got a clear. I'm hoping Savannah isn't as big a villain in Shazam 2, though.
Right.
Because it needs to be Mr. Mind.
Sure.
But I don't know how that's going to go.
Well, Mr. Mind usually teams up with the Monster Society of Evil, which is just a couple of different monster characters that he creates his own team, basically, kind of like Thanos with the Black Order.
Yeah.
And
hey, JRT Cole says he's excited for the post-credit scene. Yeah, we were saying that we're hoping that Fantastic Four is the post-credit scene, or at least I am. I want them to do something where we see the four. They could say like Phase 4 and have the four with the Fantastic Four scene, or maybe they can like show Doctor Doom or Galactus as like something, post-credit scene where we get some Easter eggs for Fantastic Four, because that'd really, I feel like, turn up the knob for Phase 4, because right now it's just like we don't know where we're going next.
Right.
We've always been able to see Thanos as the main villain, and they've got to get us onto the next track. Where are we going next? And if they hit Fantastic Four, that would last us a couple years even, and then they could start developing some other big bad through the next few movies. So we'll see.
I like that Avengers versus Defenders movie.
That'd be fun if they used the old Defenders.
Right. Yeah. Hulk and Doc Strange and Silver Surfer and Namor.
Yeah.
Valkyrie, Hawkeye. I'd be cool if they somehow developed the Young Avengers out of the next phase.
Yeah.
Teen heroes. Wiccan and Speed. Hulkling, which is a Skrull character.
Yeah. Well, I think we should get to She-Hulk. I think that'd be great.
She'd be amazing. I mean, she'd be Deadpool. I mean, she was Deadpool before Deadpool with the fourth wall breaking and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, no, she'd be amazing. And a fan favorite. I tell you what, as soon as she showed up, people were like, why hasn't she been in here from the beginning?
Right.
The character's awesome. And you have like so much leeway with what she can do. She can do superhero stories, or she can do courtroom stuff because she's a
Right.
lawyer. She's a lawyer, Jonathan.
I know. I just never remember her regular identity.
Jennifer Walters.
But then we've got the whole X-Men coming in too.
Yeah, no idea how that's going to work.
X-Men and Fantastic Four. So,
But I heard Kevin Feige or whatever say that X-Men would be down the road.
yeah, that's probably a good idea because they've still got the current trilogy going on. I'd keep them separate until you reboot it again.
Keep them separated.
But we'll see. We'll see. Where do you think DC's going next?
I don't know, but considering how low they were after Justice League, up and away, I'm hoping.
Man, if we could get a good Superman movie, I felt like we'd have a lot more hope for the DC.
I know. The character embodies hope, but we got, 3 movies where he's like, no, I'm sulky and brooding, and I've lost my shirt again. Anybody seen that?
He was better in Justice League, but he wasn't that much better.
Right. And then he had the weird mustache thing going on.
Yeah, I didn't even notice. Everybody else complained about that.
Please stop, Mr. Well, the only thing I can complain about is the CGI.
Hey, it was bad in certain parts.
Shh.
Of
Stop that mouth in my movie, man.
Justice League had so many other bad parts that I didn't even notice the small one about the mustache.
Okay, so quit defending the movie then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I enjoyed it.
Killing me, Smalls, that's all. You're killing me.
I enjoyed it. Aquaman is a much better movie than Justice League. Can I say that enough for you?
I know. No, you can't, because it's an amazing movie.
It is. It is. What did I say?
I did the Batman with Aquaman and Ocean Master Lego set for his birthday.
Yeah.
I had to withhold from stealing the Aquaman and Ocean. I was like, I'll just take that, thanks. He's like, Daddy, give me that back. And I'm like, son, you're 7. You got to learn about how life really works.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, I don't know where they're gonna go. I've heard that they're gonna do another Suicide Squad movie.
Yes, John Cena is supposed to play the Peacemaker character.
John Cena.
So much that he's willing to kill for it. I don't know how that character is supposed to be a villain though.
Peacemaker.
Yeah, because he's like a soldier or something, super soldier kind of thing. Think Punisher, but with like Captain America powers or something.
Okay. Is he an anti-hero?
Yeah, sort of. So he uses. He's a pacifist who loves peace so much that he's willing to fight for it. That's sort of the tagline of the book. He has all these. At least in the comics, he has a lot of lethal weapons, but he will, break your jaw. So the comedian in Watchmen is based off of this character.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
And Manhattan, I just got to say this, Dr. Manhattan is based off Captain Atom, which if you guys haven't watched our top 10 most powerful or comic characters, that's why Captain Atom gets ranked so high. So I forgot to throw that reasoning in our video. You understand what I'm saying?
Captain Atom would be a good addition to the DCEU.
I think so, and I think he could fit in with the Suicide Squad.
He could take the place of the other guy.
That's right.
And then you wouldn't have to worry about him dying because
that's right. He'll kill everyone if he does die.
Right.
And they can even, if they really wanted to, they could do that and then have him progress to be this mega powerful villain like they did in the comics. And that could be your mega event that brings the Justice League back together again. Finally,
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing um, a version of the Katniss program that we got in Justice League Unlimited.
Cadmus.
Sorry,
When you said that, I heard Katniss, like the girl from
that's
Hunger
what I
Games.
said. Cadmus. Sorry,
It's Cadmus. Cadmus.
Cadmus. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
It's been a while since I've watched that,
You're
unfortunately. But yeah, I'd love to see that. We can see a Superman Captain Atom face
oh
off.
oh, be still my beating heart.
We still need. There's so many things DC could do. Like, I have more hope for the future of DC than I do Marvel. Because I'm just
If
like,
he will wake up and say, you know what, let's take some risks.
yeah. Well, that new Joker movie, they might be trying stuff like that.
It's true. He does look good as the Joker.
Yep.
Got that swag.
It's got that Mark Hamill-ishness about him. With a little bit of Nicholson.
All I know is if they really want to do a great Joker movie, get a guy who can match Mark Hamill's body. Like the way he vocalizes and laughs and stuff. You just have a guy like be the actor while he's the voice, kind of like Darth Vader, right? So there was some big dude in the suit, and James Earl Jones did the voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. Just have Mark Hamill do the voice of the Joker.
That would be so good.
Yeah, if he could get a guy that could like somehow emote the way that Mark Hamill does with his voice, it'd be the perfect Joker movie.
Right. That would be good.
He's not too old to be the Joker, right?
Yeah. He'd probably have to get a little more in shape, but he'd probably be great.
DC, give us that movie.
Yeah. Man, I would love that.
I mean, he's a decent size, right? Like height wise, he's not like 5'3" or something.
No, he's normal size.
Yeah. All right.
He'd probably have that lanky look too.
Yeah.
Which is perfect for Joker.
Perfect for the Batman to beat upon. So.
Yeah, I love Mark Hamill. He's my favorite actor.
I just want to point out that I was thinking about this earlier. We talk about the Titans a lot. We talk about Wally West, Superman, and Mark Hamill.
That's true. It's true.
And I'll just throw DC in there to make it an even 5.
So, is there anything else you think of that we didn't talk about Shazam Friday?
With his mother. So in the comics, so frequently his parents are dead.
Right.
And I don't know if I like this better or not. I get it serves to underscore the message of the movie with regard to the foster family and stuff. And I think that's amazing. Like the issue of adoption and foster families and the way these people who aren't your family suddenly are your family. I thought that was an awesome message. I keep going back and forth. I can't decide if I like it or not with what they did with his mom.
Yeah, well, I feel like I think it's a question. I don't remember if I talked about this Friday. I know we talked about it.
Right.
But I don't know if we talked about it on the video. I think there's going to be a lot to do with his dad in the next one. Because remember, his dad's in prison.
Right.
And so is Mr. Mind.
Dr. Savannah, too.
And so I would not be... And so Dr. Savannah knows who Billy is. So if he found his dad, I think an interesting plotline would be Mr. Mind breaking his dad out of prison and using him against Billy.
Oh, as bait or something?
As his as like making him. I mean, he could use that like he could be the damsel in distress, or he could force his dad to fight him or something like that. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, even powers or something.
Right. There's a lot that I think it'd be interesting if Mr. Mind used his dad against him.
Yeah. Well, he does have mind powers, so he could just telepathically control him.
So
I was thinking that so spoilers, just about what I'm about to say. But with his mom, I could see her being held hostage, and possibly dying, to sort of get at Billy.
Yeah, I think it'd be good for them to kill her off.
Especially after what she did.
Right. I feel like they should have him try to save her.
You're right.
And then it'd be an easy way for them to kind of tie up some of those loose ends that they made.
Yeah.
And that way we don't have to go through like him fighting for her and she doesn't want it.
Right.
She doesn't want
Don't save me, Billy. I didn't care for you.
Like when she told him it was a bad time for her that her son comes back, I'm like, you're a terrible person.
Yeah.
Terrible person.
I was totally thinking Savannah was going to bust up the building they were in. But then it dawned on me that this was leading to that cool moment from the trailer.
How did Billy's adopted parents never find him? Like, he runs off. They follow him in the van. And then you never see them again until they go back to the house. Like, I just thought of that. How did they never catch him?
They are in Philadelphia. They could have got stuck in traffic.
Yeah, but every road we saw him running down had no traffic.
Well, we only saw him leave the house and then show up near her apartment complex.
Right, 2 blocks away. Or 5 blocks away. That's not that far.
I think it was 2 blocks.
It was really close.
Oh, no, maybe it was 2 subway stops.
I don't know. It was really close.
Yeah. Maybe he took the subway. And he got there faster.
I think it was just a few blocks away. I don't know. We'll have to watch it again.
We're not in Philadelphia. So.
We'll have to watch it again to find. But how did they not catch him? Like, they're driving a van.
Maybe they got pulled over for shooting.
They should have been able to easily catch him. I expected when he ran away from his real mom for him to find them. But instead, he goes to the rooftop and flies away. Oh, well.
Why you gotta ruin that, man? I just said that really cool scene from the trailer. You're killing me, Small.
Whatever. We said spoiler alert.
I did. I said it a lot.
There you go. But, yeah. No, I love Shazam. It was such a great movie. It's definitely my favorite DCEU movie so far. And I loved
sufficiently creepy.
And I loved Wonder Woman and Aquaman. But Shazam is hilarious. I mean, there's those creepy parts that I'll have to get over, but
they're creepy in a good way.
If you say so.
I just mean, like, they're meant to be creepy, so the fact that they creep you out because they're creepy means it worked.
Right. Well, it's interesting that after that scene, they're not creepy at all.
Yeah, they're kind of like Ghostbuster villains. You're just waiting to get zapped and sucked into the trap.
Or like that Scooby-Doo movie. That reminds me of that, too.
Which one?
The first one. They go to the island and...
I thought that was the second one. And it was Scrappy-Doo the whole time? I hated it.
Yeah, I hated it. I love Scrappy-Doo.
What a mom.
Let me at him. It was perfect for him to idolize Scooby and have Scooby and Shaggy always trying to run away, and he's always trying to find them. It's great. I loved it. I loved it. I always loved the episodes where he was in there. But
yeah,
Jake says I've got spoilers. Okay. Well, don't spoil it. Whatever
he's
it
got
is.
spoilers for what?
I don't know. But and if it's in game, we don't want to know. We don't want to know. But anyway,
Oh, because they had a premiere today or something.
I have no
So
idea. I have no idea.
there was some big to do. I saw it on Facebook earlier.
Yeah, he said Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you enjoyed it because it looks awesome. We're gonna go see it soon.
Yeah, we can talk about when we get off.
Yeah. But you got anything else for Shazam?
Holy moly, it was a good movie.
Holy moly. That was so
I'm telling you, that made my day.
good.
I just like it didn't feel cheesy the way he used it later in the movie.
Yeah.
Um,
Was it cheesy at the beginning?
only because he was putting on.
Yeah.
Holy moly, mister. They're still in there. He was trying to get the cops to buy,
Yeah, that first little scene was kind of weird. Didn't really fit. But I don't know. Everything else was fun. Everything else was good.
I dug the movie.
Yeah.
Um,
Once I figured out what his motivations were, it made a lot more sense.
yeah, that's true. It was a little hard to follow with that.
If they had like done a small intro where you find out that he's an orphan and that he's trying to find his mom, if they could have done that in like a few seconds, it would have made it a lot better, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, they could have easily shown him running away again, right?
Yeah. Be like, he's trying to find his parents or his mom again.
Right.
And then you see him trick the cops, and yeah, so I think that would have been a lot better.
But hey,
oh well.
if you guys are interested in good Captain Marvel Shazam stories, go to your local Ollie's. That's where I found the greatest Shazam stories ever told. I don't know that they are, but by themselves.
What's the book is?
It was like $3 or $4, so
Yeah,
it's worth the price. And that's about all I got.
yeah. Well, we appreciate you watching. Hope you enjoyed us talking about all our predictions for Avengers, and talking about Shazam and
Again,
what we enjoyed. Some of the questions we didn't really get into during our reaction video. But if you haven't checked that out, you can go watch that. I'll link that at the end. But we appreciate you watching, commenting, liking, subscribing. If you're new here, go ahead and we'd love for you to subscribe and join the family. But otherwise, we will catch you next time.